Why should a business consider archive as a service as opposed to creating and maintaining their own archive?
So we came across that type of dilemma of archiving as a service as opposed to kind of make a archiving work internal for a business. And what we have found over the years that it is a service. It just doesn't stop. There's an ongoing activity that has to be done practically every single day to make sure that data is accessible, usable, preserved over decades to come. And many of the institutions that we work with simply don't have the bandwidth, the expertise, the know-how to meet these requirements. It's again, there's storage, and storage is a kind of a one-off activity when you take data and simply store it. Archiving is a process that starts with understanding what data you have, what type of metadata exists, what type of metadata do you need, and has to be taken into a set of solutions that have to work in sequence when it comes to archiving. From extracting to encrypting to bit level, guaranteeing to replicating copies to be able to extract the right set of copies with the right SLA. And then there's the ongoing activities about retaining the data for many years to come and making sure that each and every bit actually stays where it's supposed to stay for decades.
Cool. And can you tell me kind of in a nutshell how your solution works?
Indeed. So our solution is actually a managed service solution. So we start off with our domain expertise and consulting function. So we work with our clients to understand their business needs, to understand what challenges do they need to face, what regulatory issues would they need to overcome, what would they do with the data. Then we are implementing our solution with technology, which looks at the data, extracts the data, encrypts data. We have an appliance, either on-site or a virtual appliance that deals with the data extraction and a set of functions that enables us to make the data transferable. And then we use our technology to make the decisions of where to transfer the data, how to process it, how to preserve it over time, and how to manage it throughout the life cycle of the data. We have technology that allows our clients to preserve data, make it useful. So we kind of scan the data for obsolescence. One of the key challenges that our clients have is that over a certain period of time, there are different technologies that are being used to access data, and some of them become obsolete. Some of the data format become obsolete. We ensure that this obsolescence does not come into play when using Arkivum. So we are monitoring the data, looking after obsolescence, and helping our clients to make the right decisions to make the data useful and accessible for decades to come.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but your system is tape-based as opposed to hard disk-based.
Arkivum actually uses both tape and disks. We use disk for the highly accessible type of data and to provide the minimal amount of latency when you're accessing data and when you're extracting data. But tapes are providing what we call the 100% guarantee, or part of the 100% guarantee process. It allows us to actually be able to commit, which is backed by insurance, that the data would not go anywhere, each and every single bit of data. When you have spinning disks, there's the propensity that something wrong would happen is much higher. Of course, you pay with latency, and we have technology to circumvent that and to alleviate the latency issues. And for that, we're using both tape and disk. But the vast majority of the petabytes of data that we store is actually on tapes.
How do you go about ensuring data integrity?
So we complement technology with service, but let me focus on the service aspect. We have a few data centers across the UK. So we specialize in actually choosing the right technology, the right data centers to make sure that the data replication is happening in such a way that allows us to commit to data integrity over time. We have an escrow model that allows us and our clients to feel very safe that the data is safely secured and is accessible to both parties if anything goes wrong. So complementing technology and kind of the data center activities that we're doing allows us, and to be honest, also our insurers, to be able to commit to 100% data integrity.
And what kind of organisations use your service?
So our focus is on organizations which have loads of data, that need to retain data for many years to come. They need to preserve the data, and they are under regulatory requirements that they cannot tamper with data. With that in mind, we focus on healthcare and higher education and heritage. We have some business around construction and contact centers. But predominantly, if we focus on the public sector type of clients, where there's a growing amount of need to store and archive data for many years, they really care about data. They need to be able to access the data and need to be able to use the data whenever they feel the need to do so. And these types of sectors are our focus sectors.